More and more brands and retailers are exploring the commercial possibilities of the metaverse and the virtual worlds held within it. This is Piers Fox, and in this video, Adam Frisby walks me through the new Breakroom community experience from Sine Wave. Watch and listen as he explains some of the new business opportunities in virtual worlds. So I'm here with Adam Frisby of Sine Wave Entertainment. He's going to talk to me today and walk through the virtual world experience that is Breakroom. Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Good. I'm excited to show this off.
So tell us a little bit about Sine Wave Entertainment and what you're doing to create these virtual experiences.
So Sine Wave is a company that's actually a little bit old now. We were founded in 2006, back in the heydays of Second Life and other popular virtual worlds back when they were a thing. And we've been focused quite extensively over the last sort of 15 years on building virtual worlds that are accessible to a mass market audience. Some of the things we found, we were working with a lot of brand companies back in Second Life. We had Universal Music. We had a few other big sort of high profile clients selling virtual merchandise in Second Life, as one example of the people we were working with. And through our experiences there, we ran into sort of all the usual problems that you experience trying to build a consumer ready brand activation inside a virtual world like Second Life. You immediately hit all the roadblocks that come up from how difficult it is. The user experience is not great for those users, so on and so forth. There's a sort of a wide range of fun challenges that we have spent the better part of the last 15 years working on addressing. Yeah. Some of those have been challenges related to scale.
Because basically this technology couldn't handle the audience. I think this is one of the challenges throughout the history is how many people can you get in a space at any one time, yeah?
Exactly. So figuring that one out has been a big challenge. It's been one that we've had to focus on a lot over the last couple of years. But the net result has been we're here now. And we've got a couple of products as a company. We've got the Science Space platform. We've got Breakroom. Breakroom is the one that we're going to be talking about mostly today. Breakroom is designed as a sort of a business-to-business product, but effectively the two share a common technology history. So some of the stuff I can show you on one is directly applicable in the other two.
That's great. Well, let's jump into it, and you can give me some context as we walk through, and you can bring other.
What I'll do is I'll start with the viewer application, then I'll show you the web as well. So we've got two. So I'm going to show you this one. This one's based more on the science-based technology platform, but it is still the same thing as Breakroom. But I just wanted to give a quick demo before we go into the web one as well. Just saying that this is actually a talk I did with Philip Rosedale last week. We did it in this region. I just wanted to talk through a little bit about how the fact that we can produce really high quality graphics in whatever activations and things we do. It's sort of
so the technology platform that we're looking at right now is called what?
This is called Science Space, but it is also foundational on Breakroom, so it's effectively the same thing. So anyway, so I just wanted to cover off that we've got the capacity to do really high-end, high-quality graphics if particular activations require it. On this consumer side of things, this one, we do actually also have a fairly extensive virtual retailing option as well. So if I can show you the shop, for example, we can sort of pull up all the virtual goods and things. These are built by our user creators, so these aren't built by us; they're built by other people, and they're just sold through the shop into the platform in general. And we have a whole array of things, whether it's sort of items that you can place into an environment or characters. In this case, I've got a bunny rabbit, but I can switch over to sort of a more conventional humanoid pretty easily. Let's just look to him. Great. So if I just take this one, we can, for instance, also in the shop be able to sort of preview items, things against players. So we actually have a couple of reward brands in here that are doing some work with us. One of them is Fiorucci, who are a fairly well-known fashion label. I'm just going to search for their stuff. I'm actually a big fan of some of the virtual goods they brought in here. So if I grab this one, just let it load onto my avatar. Just take a second. So as you can see here, I've got a Fiorucci jacket that I can buy, and if I like it, I'll just hit buy. And I'll wear that one now.
It made your character look skinnier as well, which I guess.
Oh, I can do quite a lot of things. We've actually got a fairly robust system there. This is just
Yeah.
a general accessibility point, but we have, oh, oops, it's wearing my jacket at the same time. That's something I want to take off. I'll just do that now. It's set up incorrectly. That's one of my own items that caused the problem. Anyway, so we have quite a fairly robust. Now, this is obviously a little bit more technical than we expose to most users. Normally, we do something just like this dialogue, which I've just got up here, which lets you quickly switch between prefab characters, which is more accessible for new users. But certainly, if we want to sort of expose various body shapes, genders, sizes, almost every part of the character can be customized, and all the clothing and so forth will fully translate with those changes. So if I just I'll bring him back a little bit, but we can make him thinner. There we go. We'll end up in that position, and there we go. Fiorucci is also just worth showing off. They've got their own little experimental showroom, which I can show you. Oh, there we go. So
okay. So where we were looking right now, this is where the meeting happened last week.
That region we were in was where, yes, that's where the meeting that we had. So we had quite a few high-profile guests. It was a great event. We got a lot of positive feedback from them on it. And it was good to show off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to translate very quickly over to the other side of the coin, which is sort of Breakroom. So actually, I'll finish up with Fiorucci.
Okay, we're now showing Fiorucci showroom. Okay.
This is obviously a very basic showroom that they've sort of set up, but it sort of shows off all the various virtual goods that they've got. So if I want to buy these ones, I can buy them for real, which will open up my web browser, or I can buy them virtually. And here we go. It'll have some footwear that I can attach to my avatar there. So they've built this whole space out. There's a couple of other great looking virtual stores and things that have been set up on this platform since, but it's just a simple way of doing a virtual brand activation very easily. Okay. And obviously, all of these spaces can be customized by both the operator and by us. We all support the standard 3D modeling work chain, so it's all a very, very easy experience. But then you can actually come in here as a user and modify and tweak various bits, like for instance.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us what we're looking at here.
So what we're looking at here is Breakroom in the browser. And Breakroom is basically the full end virtual world that we've got accessible to all the users around the place, around the world. But it's accessible in your Chrome or Firefox or Safari web browsers. And basically, the benefit here is that it's the full end experience. You get all the various rich graphics that we get in a desktop application, but it's available in your browser. We actually use remote rendering for this, which means that it also works on really low end hardware too. So if you've got a low end Chromebook or you've got a machine that's 15 years old, you can still get the high quality graphics that you expect from high end hardware, but without the cost and the hardware accessibility issues, which means that one of the best use cases for this particular platform is in conferences and events, where you've got sort of 100 plus people in a virtual space, all sharing the same environment. And when you do events like that, for instance, some of the events we've got are in the banking sector, and you don't expect bankers to have high-end consumer desktop hardware sitting handy. So the ability to do this in the browser and make it instantly accessible is a really big win for that. But it's also a big win for anyone who wants to bring an audience into an environment easily and guarantee that you're going to get most of those users in successfully, which is one of the big pain points that we experienced with Second Life was how do we actually get people to get across the line? How do we get them actually to experience the environment? So this whole platform, and I've got the same character as you pointed out that I had before, wearing my new Fiorucci jacket. This also works here in Breakroom. So we actually have options.
Two quick questions then. So one is remote rendering means there's a massive bank of computers somewhere, like
pretty much
crunching all this, yeah. And then and the second one is there's the same character has come from one virtual world to another, and so so you can have this constant character that runs between platforms, between experiences.
That portability is optional. In this particular environment, it's enabled because we want people to be able to come into this particular environment with whatever characters and things they have on hand. But if you're doing a corporate event, for example, you may want to lock that one down and say that only its accounts only available in this environment. It can be used in this environment. We can sort of cover off a variety of circumstances where that's beneficial and where that's
because
negative.
people might turn up as bunny rabbits or whatever.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. Yes, I'm particularly fond of my bunny rabbit. So this is the Breakroom experience to start with. This one is the more conference oriented system. So you can see there's a whole bunch of stands and rooms and things in here. For instance, we've got a web browser here that's been just click zoom in and have a look at it. And this is just our normal breakroom.tech website. As you can see here, we can set those up in a 3D environment if you want to. We have a lot of other conferencing tools. I'm just going to switch off my camera in Zoom so I can use it in here, because that is unfortunately a limit of Windows. But if I hop into this environment, for instance, I can sit down in a place. I can turn my video on. It should come through here now. So I've got myself streaming virtually here. We also have screen sharing facilities as well. So I can, for instance, share my entire desktop, which is not doing very much right now, but
yeah. I mean, that's fascinating. I just want to stop you there. So
yep.
So you have a bunch of people sat around this room,
yep,
and around this table, and when you're talking to each other, you can get a Zoom-like experience on that screen
yep.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the benefits to this, besides all the other sort of virtual benefits of being able to do an event in any location with as many people as you want, is that actually using avatars for representation instead of direct video can give you a lot of the benefits of Zoom without the fatigue of Zoom. There's a Stanford study actually on this about how Zoom fatigue is principally caused by two things: one, staring at yourself in video calls, and two, staring at other people. In that order, staring at yourself is one of the biggest stressors. So actually doing it through avatars can be one way around this issue. But the other big benefit, and the really big benefit we've got to these environments, is that we've got spatial audio enabled here. And spatial audio means that you sound as loud as you are far away from each other virtually. And that means that we can have a crowd of, say, 150 people out in this space, grouped into sort of 10 or 15 groups of 5, 10 people. And you can flitter between the groups, and it actually brings back the networking experience that you see at real world conferences in a digital way that lets you capture the benefit of the remote events. And there is some real benefits to them besides the simple replacement of what we've lost in the pandemic. We've got one group, Stanford Media X, who do regular events inside this platform. They've been doing them for about a year now. And they bring in speakers and guests from all over the world. So they have groups from Japan, they have groups from the West Coast in the US. Those are the two big groups, but they've got others. And being able to do digital events is a really, really big benefit for them. And spatial audio is really what makes that one work. What makes that tick is the idea of being able to just have people in groups and move between conversations, meet new people. It's a completely different experience from what you see with most webinars. So I can flip my camera back on in Zoom. That's the very, very basics of Breakroom. But we also have people using this for a lot more than just simply conferences and events. We have everything from military clients exploring ideas in a virtual space through to healthcare providers doing training. That's actually a really great case, has been a lot in the training space, making sure that we can deliver sort of good training experiences that let you simulate parts of the training. So for instance, you can show off particular environments, you can show off particular objects and mm-hmm. bodies and things like that in particular ways, in a way that's not entirely practical in the real world. And you can do so remotely, so you don't need to disrupt people. You don't need to bring
have you had experience yet of kind of building a, let's say a retail store concept, and then have the staff and designers walk through it and see how it is?
To a degree. I mean, the Fiorucci one I showed off earlier has done that. We've got some other people doing the sort of same principled thing. Breakroom is still fairly new, so we haven't experimented with it as much in that marketplace as I would like to, but it's absolutely something we support. One of one of the things that we talked about long ago when we started building this platform was that feature creep is not a bug. It's the idea that when you get someone who wants to do something in this platform, you'll find very quickly that they'll ask, can I do X or can I do Y, and how we can expand out, which means that at a technical level, this is a very flexible platform that absolutely can support those kinds of use cases and support them well. And whether you want to bring in, for instance, video sharing and screen sharing and things like that, you can. If you want to bring in vehicles, or if you want to bring in fancy dressed avatars, whatever, but the whole platform will expand to encompass whatever you think you'd like to bring in and trial with these things. We also have sort of all of this is on a self-service dashboard in the back end. So as a developer, you can sort of completely white label this and manage it yourself, and take off and build your own experiences that even completely replace the user interface. Some of our clients do that. They find they want to reduce it down to just 2 or 3 buttons, and that's exactly what they do. Yeah. It's very flexible. What we've got is a default, but not the be all and end all. Yeah.
That's great. So to recap, it's very easy for the audience to kind of access, because it could be through their phone, it could be through a very sophisticated computer. It seems fairly simple to kind of create these worlds.
Even show some of that off. So if we want to, for instance, drop down, I'm not going to do anything particularly artistic here, but if I want to grab, for instance, this couch that I've got, just grab it and give it a second, and now I can just place it down wherever I want. So there we go. Bam, I've got a new couch in here.
That's great. So it comes with a bunch of templates.
There's lots of templates that we've got to work with. And if you've got a Unity 3D developer in-house, they can upload their own content, whether it's new items that can be placed into the environment or entire environments. It's up to them. Everything can be tweaked and customized.
If they had a CAD rendering, could they do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got quite a few cases of people who have done that. CAD, it depends a little bit on the complexity of the files, but broadly speaking, yep. Absolutely.
So it seems great. And then does the e-commerce function operate within this experience as well?
Yes, we do. So we've got a whole bunch of ways of doing that. The principal way is obviously we grew up selling virtual goods, so they're a very first-class citizen. I already showed off the demo of the store before, but that obviously carries through here as well. Different libraries of content are available. This is more of a sort of corporate focused library that's out here by default. But again, that's configurable by customers, what you want to bring in. So it could be just as simple as I think some gestures might be a good demo of this. These are everything that I'm showing in my inventory here is. Let me see, what have I got that's a great one that's worth showing off. I've got one of Rowan, who's one of my co-workers. Actually, no, he's not that flexible, but we have, for instance, this little dance animation loop that's running right now is a virtual good that can be bought, same as the clothing item I bought earlier. You can do vehicles and all sorts of other things. In terms of real world goods, the same technology would support doing real world goods. We've got the details sufficiently to make purchasing real products through the store entirely possible. We haven't had anyone try that yet, but it is certainly something we'd be open to talking with brands about doing.
That's great. So remind me about the status with Breakroom. How new is it, and what the ambition is?
Yeah. So Breakroom, we've been in a beta period since about late last year. And we've got quite a few clients on the platform since then. It's sort of gone into a formal launch process in the last 3-4 weeks. So that's where it is, but it is also built on the back of a very mature platform, which is the science-based platform that's been publicly accessible since very late 2016. So we've got a fairly robust and mature platform here that has had a lot of time and love put into it.
And that's great. And tell me a little bit, let's finish off. What aspirations do you have for the platform?
Well, the aspirations, that's the big one. I mean, everyone in the virtual world space has always been talking about the metaverse as the aspiration. And I won't lie, that's our aspiration too. We are looking to make 3D virtual worlds as accessible and ubiquitous as a web browser. Now, that's a big task. It's not one that's going to be satisfied overnight. We're going to be on this journey for a couple more years, I think, before we get there. But what we've been doing has been really focusing on the things that matter. User accessibility is a big one, making sure that people can get into these environments and acquaint themselves very quickly. Just as a very quick example, if you, for instance, touch somewhere or click somewhere, you can immediately just walk to that location. You don't need to learn about keyboard commands. These are all things that we've thought about in terms of accessibility, and that's going to be a big driver of our long-term growth, is making sure that we can reach 99% of users, not just the 10, 15, 30% who are interested in gaming, for example. We have features to satisfy that group as well, but we do run the gamut on user accessibility.
Before I sign off, is there anything else, Adam, you want to talk about?
The only other point to make is that the platform is extremely extensible. It is much closer to sort of editing a web page in terms of flexibility. You can do a lot under the hood with all the various scripting languages and capabilities we've got built in. Experienced developers will be able to do a very large amount of customization of the platform. Less experienced developers still have some way to customize the platform. We looked at sort of satisfying both those needs, and there's good documentation on both of those available.
That's great. It seems like so people can get started very quickly, and then when they realize they need something sophisticated, they can develop it further.
Yep, exactly.
Well, Adam Frisby, thank you for taking me through this. Adam Frisby, Chief Product Officer of Sine Wave Entertainment. Thanks for taking me through Breakroom.
I'm very happy to. It was nice showing it off.